guys, what is going on? Your old pal CHH here. We got a good one for you guys today. We're talking about another 4K from Mr. James Cameron. Now, it's been a rocky road to say the least when it comes to James Cameron movies on 4K. You know, interestingly enough, this is kind of off topic, but I'm going to ask you guys right now about this. How did the Avatar movies look on 4K? I didn't get those. I saw Avatar when it came out in theaters. I haven't seen Way of Water. I'm not against those movies. I am against him doing 1,000 of them for the rest of his life until basically he passes away, because it sounds like that's what he just wants to do from now on. But I am interested to know if those movies look good on 4K. So let me know, because I haven't picked those up or watched those. We are talking about an all-timer. We are talking about the legendary first Terminator movie. Now, that steelbook is really cool, but I did like the simplicity of the slip version. I figured, what the hell, I thought this one would be good enough for me. I like this one, so I stuck with the slip version for Terminator. And guys, we're going to get right into this. I will say a few things about Terminator. I'd be remiss not to, because it's always a pleasure when you get to talk about classics. I do think Terminator 2 is the best one. I definitely think Terminator, the first one, is the second best one, but there's definitely an argument for people that say that Terminator 1 is a better one. I don't want to get in too much of a rabbit hole here, but I also hear people call Terminator a slasher film. Now, this is a wide array of people that I'll hear say this kind of thing. Some people have a very loose definition of slasher film. Some people have a very strict definition of slasher film, but it is interesting. This is obviously a cat and mouse kind of movie, but it depends on your criteria. Me personally, I wouldn't use that word to describe it, but if you tried to explain your reasoning to me, I think I could see where some people are coming from. Regardless of this is Arnold Schwarzenegger as a villain, which is so cool. And there are some great moments in this. I make this joke all the time about how I can't understand how Kyle Reese has to come back in time to bang Sarah Connor for John to be born. Like, how and what ripple effect does this happen? How? Like, what plants the seed for this? It's confusing to me, because on the very surface level, I get it. Like, that's in fact how John Connor was born. That's in fact how John comes to be and then to lead the resistance. But if you start really thinking about it, in my opinion, it starts to make less sense. I get so confused by that. I can't help it. What do you say? This movie has some great moments. One of my favorite moments has to be the Dick Miller scene at the gun store, where he's going in, Arnold's naming off the guns, boom, right then and there, and then he starts naming these incredible weapons. He's like, hey pal, only what you see on the wall. Great moments. I mean, the moment of him shooting down the first Sarah Connor moment, I mean, as a kid, actually scared the crap out of me, because I mean, he just bust the door down. What a movie, man. I loved it. I really did love this movie, and man, those miniatures you see in the very beginning looked good. But let's get into the picture quality. So, Terminator's a classic. I love this movie. I poke fun at certain things every now and again when I'm doing live shows, but make no mistake, guys, this is one of the best movies of the 80s, I think. Terminator is just an all-timer. I wouldn't know if you call it a masterpiece, but it's a sci-fi masterpiece. I do think that. I think in that specific genre, boom, you can't get much better than Terminator. So let's get into it, guys. The picture quality on this, there is a few ways I'm going to break this down, and the few ways you can look at this, and I don't know which way it should be the end-all, be-all way to think about this, because it truly can depend on your perception. Let me answer the question, full force, right here. Is it a good-looking 4K? My gut answer is yes. But there's a few ways you can look at this. Let me describe what the movie actually looks like. Okay, so like I said, in the beginning of the movie, when you see the miniatures and you see the plane coming down in 2029, I think, which we're not far off from that, people, you could tell it's the miniature model stuff, but man, it looked amazing. My eyes could have been deceiving me a little bit, but I felt like I saw some natural movie grain, some natural film grain in there. It might have been faint, but I felt a natural filmic look to Terminator. I really did. So that, I think, was remarkable compared to the other stuff he's done for his older movies. You could have told me that James Cameron didn't remaster this one or didn't supervise this one himself, and I totally would have believed it, because it doesn't really look that much like his other stuff that he's done, like True Lies, for instance, or even The Abyss, which The Abyss looked good, but I felt this is going to be the 4K for James Cameron movies that is going to have the highest praise, I think. I think overall more people are going to be happy with this one than any other one. With that being said, I can't say I didn't notice this. No, I'm not saying it's belligerent. I'm not saying it's over the top or bad, but I did feel like when you see the characters' faces, it does look a little smoothened out. Not bad, nothing like a Jaws 3, mind you, but I did feel like it was a little bit there. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't really bother me. Like I said, it was a little bit, it wasn't over the top, I felt, but that mixed with still having a nice filmic or a cinematic look to the movie, I can deal with that. I can be happy with that. And overall, I'll tell you this, out of all the James Cameron stuff I've seen so far on 4K, I think Titanic is a great one too, but I think this may be my favorite restoration that James has overseen so far. You can look at this as a huge victory because for James Cameron stuff, for the people that love film, for all the mom's basement people like we are, you know, that love that kind of stuff that he made fun of, you can look at this and say this is incredible. Does this make it a top 5 restoration of the year overall? I don't think it is. And that's the way you can look at it, is you can look at this as a huge victory, or you can look at this as an overall aspect and say, not too bad. Like, I'm happy with that. Could have been a little bit better. Could have gone in a little different direction. But overall, I'm happy with that. So you can be overjoyed that, you know, this is not like the James Cameron restorations that we've seen, or you can look at it as a whole and say, not bad, pretty good. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as a restoration. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Really good. Not the best I've seen this year, but for Cameron, thank God. So that being said, guys, let's break down this release. Let's look at it first. So here's the slip. I gotta say, I think it looks really nice, the slip art. It would have been nice to have the original kind of like poster image, but they don't do that. I don't know why they don't do that. And this is just a 4K release. This is not a 4K with a Blu-ray. But yeah, there you have it. We'll take this out. We'll show you guys the back. We'll look at the special features. There's nothing special. Let's look at that now. Special features: creating the Terminator, visual effects and music, the Terminator, closer to the real thing, Unstoppable Force, the legacy of the Terminator, and 7 deleted scenes. And I think that's all legacy stuff. Some of it was basically movie clips playing where people are talking over it. I feel like that's all legacy stuff. If it isn't, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's all legacy features, meaning stuff that's probably been on previous releases. So here's the actual case. I want to say that the audio on this was really, really good too. Like I told you guys, I have a Dolby Audio soundbar. It's got like 7 speakers in it or something. It's a long soundbar with a subwoofer. So my audio setup is better. It's not the end-all be-all. But just for right now, I needed to upgrade it since I'm reviewing a lot of 4Ks now. I was happy with that. This does have Dolby Audio, and it does have Dolby Vision. Where I will give credit to is the disc. I thought the disc was pretty clever. You can see the outline of the Terminator skull on there. And it's only, like I said, it's only 4K. They're not doing Blu-ray, which isn't a big deal. But, man, I feel like the prices on these releases coming out should be a little bit cheaper if they're not including the Blu-ray. But, unfortunately, I don't feel like their price is reflecting that. I wish that would be remedied. I wish companies would acknowledge that more, but they're not, so you're basically still paying about $28-30 for this, where I wish it would be $19.99, considering there's no Blu-ray disc. If you're not going to put the Blu-ray disc in, the price should reflect that, in my opinion. But guys, listen, overall, I'm going to give this release, I'll stick with an 8 out of 10. Audio was great. Picture quality was really, really good. And it was great compared to the other stuff James Cameron's done. But overall, in the grand scheme, it's not a top 5 of the year. But I'm happy with it. So there you have it, guys. Terminator, if you were wondering if this was a continuation of James Cameron's shenanigans, not really. Not really. I think 8 out of 10 people will probably be happy with it, as a matter of fact. So 8 out of 10 across the board with this release. So guys, let me know your thoughts on the first Terminator. Let me know your thoughts on the nuances of the subgenre essence of the film, if you find it to be part of like a slasher category, if you just look at it as a sci-fi action film or whatnot. Let me know, guys. And let me know your thoughts on the release and the picture quality. Let me know about all that down in the comment section below, guys. But for now, this is your old pal CHH saying, fear not, this is the best one yet.
Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.